All right, we're diving into a huge topic today, religion. But we're going to look at it from a totally different angle. For just a minute, forget everything you think you know about tradition or culture, and let's ask a pretty bold question. What if religion isn't just something we inherit? What if it's actually a logical solution to some of our deepest, most fundamental human needs? Let's unpack that.
So, when you think about why people are religious, what's the first thing that pops into your head? It's usually one of these, right? That it's an emotional thing, a cultural hand-me-down, or, just something you're born into. These are pretty much the standard answers.
But what if that common view is only telling half the story? The big idea we're exploring today is that there's another way to see it, a more logical view. In this way of thinking, religion isn't some dusty old relic. It's a remarkably effective tool. It's a framework, a solution designed to solve some really deep psychological and social problems. So, what are those problems?
Okay, first up, let's zoom in on the individual, on you and me. At the very core of being human is this constant, almost nagging search for meaning.
Now, I want you to pay close attention to that phrase, non-optional. This isn't just a fun philosophical hobby for a rainy day. Psychologists, from the famous Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl all the way to researchers today, have argued that our drive to find meaning is as basic as our need for food or water. We're just wired to ask, why am I here, and what's the point of all this?
And this is where religion comes in as a really powerful solution. It basically provides a prepackaged, complete story that tells you where you came from, what you're here to do, and how you ought to live. It takes the chaos of life and organizes it into a coherent narrative with a solid moral compass. So the key here is, if we as humans need meaning, well, religion is one of the most effective systems ever created to deliver it.
All right, let's move on to something a little tougher, a need that's way more uncomfortable to talk about, dealing with death. As far as we know, we're the only species out there that lives its whole life knowing for sure that it's going to end. That knowledge can be, well, terrifying, and psychologists have a name for how we cope with this: terror management theory. The idea is we build these big belief systems to protect ourselves from that deep existential dread.
And religion is maybe the ultimate terror management tool. It looks the finality of death right in the eye and offers continuity. The idea of an afterlife, a soul, something that goes on. It changes life from this finite countdown into just one chapter in a much, much bigger story. And that provides incredible comfort and hope.
Okay, so we've seen how religion can serve our deep personal needs. But what about our collective needs? Let's zoom out from the individual for a second and look at how religion acts as a foundation for society itself.
This quote from Emile Durkheim, who was basically one of the founders of sociology, just nails it. He argued that a society isn't just a bunch of people who happen to live in the same place. To really work, it needs shared symbols, rituals, and beliefs to create that feeling of us. Religion is a powerhouse at providing that common ground, that social glue.
And a huge, huge part of that social glue is morality. I mean, think about it. Laws and the police can only do so much, right? For a society to really hum along, people need to believe in a shared code of right and wrong. They need more than just rules. This need for a deep, authoritative moral foundation, that's what we call the normative need.
And boom, this is where you see religion's social function shine. By connecting moral rules to something divine, something transcendent, religion gives them a kind of weight and authority that no government ever could. It creates this really stable ethical foundation that encourages people to cooperate, to trust each other, and, to be good to each other.
So we have personal needs, we have social needs, but what if there's something even deeper going on? What if our very brains are sort of primed for belief? Let's dive into our final section and see how this all connects.
Cognitive scientists have shown that our brains are basically pattern-seeking machines. We're constantly looking for causes and assigning intention to things. It's an old survival trait, right? For our ancestors, it was way safer to assume that Russell in the bushes was a lion, not just the wind. This built-in tendency makes it incredibly natural for us to see purpose and intention out in the world, which is a very small step from belief in a higher power.
And the benefits of this aren't just theoretical, they seem to be measurable. It's pretty overwhelming, actually. We're talking about thousands of scientific studies that have found a strong link between religious practice and positive mental health. People who are part of a religious community tend to report less stress and show way more resilience when life gets tough.
Okay, let's bring it all back home. After looking at all of this, can we really just write religion off as some old superstition?
Is it really just an emotional crutch for people who can't handle reality?
Or when you actually break it down from a psychological, a sociological, and even a cognitive point of view, does it start to look a lot more like a highly sophisticated system for solving real, universal human problems?
So here's the takeaway. While we have to acknowledge all its flaws, the evidence makes a really strong case that religion sticks around in every culture and every era, not because people are irrational, but because it is an incredibly powerful response to the logical needs of being human. The need for meaning, the need for community, and the need for hope. Maybe it's not just believed, maybe it's needed. What do you think?